My chosen one, listen closely, because what you are about to hear is not ordinary. It is a divine interruption meant specifically for you at this very moment. On July 9th, something extraordinary is unfolding in the spiritual realm, something so powerful that even the heavens cannot remain silent. Archangel Michael himself is stepping forward with a message of profound joy, and this message carries your name within it. Right now, as you hear these words, there is a celebration happening beyond what your physical eyes can see. Yes, a celebration for you. While you were fighting silent battles, while you were pushing through days that felt heavy and uncertain, heaven was watching. Every tear you thought went unnoticed, every moment you felt like giving up, but didn't. Those moments were recorded, honored, and witnessed by divine forces. You may not realize it yet, but you have already overcome something that was meant to stop you completely. There were forces assigned to distract you, to weaken your faith, to pull you away from the path of righteousness and truth. And yet, here you are, still standing, still seeking light, still choosing what is right, even when it was hard. That alone has triggered a reaction in heaven that is rare and powerful. Archangel Michael is revealing that this is not just another day. July 9th marks a spiritual turning point, a moment when what you have endured is being transformed into something greater. The struggles you thought were setbacks were actually stepping stones, carefully placed to elevate your spirit and align you with your true purpose. There is something deeply important you need to understand right now. You were never alone in your battles. Even in your darkest moments, when you felt abandoned or unsure, divine protection surrounded you. Archangel Michael and his heavenly army were guarding you, fighting battles you didn't even know existed. The reason you made it through is not luck, it is divine intervention. And now, because you did not give up, because you continued walking the path of truth even when it cost you comfort, heaven is responding. This is why you are hearing this message. This is why your spirit feels drawn here. It is not a coincidence. It is confirmation. But here is the most surprising truth of all. The celebration in heaven is only the beginning. What is coming next will reveal why everything had to happen the way it did. There is a deeper meaning behind your journey, a purpose that is now ready to unfold. So stay with this message, because what Archangel Michael is about to reveal next will open your eyes in ways you never expected. This is your moment. This is your confirmation. And this is only the beginning. There is something you must now understand, something that may completely change the way you see your past struggles. What you thought were ordinary challenges, random obstacles, or unfortunate circumstances were never random at all. They were carefully assigned battles, allowed for a higher purpose, and every single one of them carried a hidden test within it. You were not just living your life. You were walking through a battlefield that existed beyond what your physical eyes could perceive. In those moments when everything seemed to go wrong at once, when doors closed without explanation, when people walked away without reason, and when your strength felt like it was fading, there was a deeper spiritual conflict taking place. Forces were attempting to pull you away from your path, to cloud your judgment, and to make you question your worth and your direction. These were not just emotional moments, they were strategic attacks designed to weaken your spirit. But here is the truth that changes everything. You did not lose those battles. Even in moments where you felt like you were failing, even when you questioned whether you were strong enough to continue, you were still moving forward. And that forward movement, no matter how small it felt, was counted as victory in the spiritual realm. You may have stumbled, you may have doubted, but you did not surrender. And that is what set you apart. Archangel Michael reveals that during your lowest points, when you felt the most alone, you were actually under the highest level of divine protection. There were unseen interventions happening around you. Situations that could have become worse were quietly redirected. Outcomes that could have harmed you were softened or completely removed. You may never fully see how many times you were protected, but heaven knows and heaven remembers. Think about those moments when something didn't feel right and you chose to step away. Think about the times when you were guided to say no, even when it was difficult. Think about the inner voice that told you to keep going, even when everything around you suggested you should stop. That was not just your own strength. That was divine guidance, a whisper placed within you to keep you aligned with truth. What makes this even more powerful is that your endurance did not go unnoticed. Every time you chose integrity over convenience, every time you chose truth over comfort, and every time you resisted the urge to give up, you activated something in the heavens. It was as if a signal was sent, declaring that you were still standing, still faithful, still aligned. There is a reason why this message is reaching you now. It is because you have crossed a threshold. You have moved through a phase of testing that many do not complete. And because you endured, because you stayed on the path even when it was difficult, a new phase is now opening before you. But before that new phase fully reveals itself, there is something even more extraordinary that you must witness. Heaven did not remain silent when you overcame those hidden battles. There was a response, a powerful and undeniable response that marked your victory in a way you have never imagined. And that is what you are about to understand next. Beloved soul, there comes a moment in every divine journey when heaven can no longer remain silent, when the quiet observations of your faithfulness turn into a powerful expression of recognition. That moment has already taken place for you. While you were still navigating your challenges, while you were still questioning whether your efforts were enough, something extraordinary unfolded beyond the physical world. The heavens responded. Archangel Michael reveals that when you overcame that recent test, the one that nearly drained your strength and made you question everything, a sound was released in the heavenly realm. It was not a sound of sorrow or concern, but a sound of celebration. It echoed like a trumpet, clear and undeniable, announcing that a soul had remained faithful under pressure. That soul was you. You may not have seen it, but in that very moment, light expanded across realms you cannot yet comprehend. Angels paused, not in hesitation, but in acknowledgement. There was movement, there was energy, there was a gathering. It was as if your perseverance had created a ripple that reached the highest places. Your decision to keep going, to hold on to truth when it would have been easier to let go, became a testimony written in light. Understand this deeply. Heaven does not celebrate perfection. It celebrates faithfulness. It celebrates the one who continues even when the outcome is uncertain. It celebrates the one who chooses righteousness even when no one else is watching. And that is exactly what you did. You chose to stay aligned. You chose to endure. You chose truth over temporary relief. A choice carrying more weight than you realize. Archangel Michael wants you to know that your name was spoken in honor. Not in a way of prying, but in a way of recognition. There was a declaration that you had passed through a significant test, one that many turn away from before completing. And because you did not turn away, because you stood firm even in weakness, a mark was placed upon your journey, a mark of spiritual victory. This is why you may feel a shift within yourself recently, a subtle but undeniable change. It may feel like clarity is beginning to replace confusion, like strength is quietly returning where there was once exhaustion. That is not your imagination. That is the result of what has already taken place in the spiritual realm. The celebration was not just an event, it was a release of new energy, new alignment, and new direction. But there is something even more personal in this message. The celebration was not distant or detached. It was intentional. It was focused. It was as if heaven leaned in closer, recognizing the uniqueness of your journey, the specific battles you faced, and the quiet courage you carried through it all. You were not just another soul in the crowd. You were seen individually, known deeply, and honored specifically. Let this truth settle within you. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. In fact, you are exactly where you need to be, standing at the edge of a new beginning that has already been acknowledged in heaven. And as this truth reaches your spirit, receive this moment fully. Do not dismiss it. Do not doubt it. This is confirmation. This is recognition. This is your sign that what you have done, what you have endured, and who you have chosen to become truly matters. Type "I receive heaven's celebration" in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 639 has just been released. And hear this clearly, because this moment is not just about recognition, it is about multiplication. When you respond to what heaven is doing, you become a vessel through which light reaches others who are still struggling in silence. This mission is not sustained by chance, it is sustained by obedience. I feel led to say this. As you have received this message, you are also being invited into a divine act of sowing. Those who choose to support this channel through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description are not just giving, they are planting seeds into transformed lives. The Lord says, as you pour out, I will pour into you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. If your spirit is stirred, do not delay. Act in this moment. Release your seed and watch how heaven responds with increase, protection, and favor over your life. There is a reason why this message is centered around a specific moment in time, and that reason carries more weight than you may realize. July 9th is not just another date passing by on a calendar. It is a divinely aligned Arabic noon, Arabic Kaf, Arabic Hot, Arabic Tetma Buddha in your journey, a spiritual marker that separates what was from what is about to be. Archangel Michael is making it clear that this day holds a frequency of transition, a shift that has been building quietly beneath the surface of your life. For a long time, you have been moving through cycles that felt repetitive. Challenges would come, you would push through them, and just when you thought you had reached a place of rest, something new would arise. It may have felt like you were walking in circles, like progress was being delayed or even denied. But what you could not see was that each cycle was refining you, preparing you, and positioning you for this exact moment. July 9th represents a crossing point. It is where preparation meets activation. Everything you have learned, everything you have endured, and everything you have chosen in alignment with truth is now converging into a single moment of release. It is not loud, it is not forced, but it is deeply powerful. It is the kind of shift that changes direction without needing to announce itself in dramatic ways. Archangel Michael reveals that on this day, something within you is being unlocked. It is a deeper level of clarity, a stronger sense of identity, and a renewed alignment with your purpose. You may begin to notice subtle changes, thoughts becoming clearer, decisions feeling easier, and a sense of calm replacing the confusion that once surrounded you. These are not coincidences. These are signs that you have entered a new phase. There is also a deeper layer to this moment. July 9th is not just about what you are receiving. It is about what you are leaving behind. The weight of past doubts, the residue of old fears, and the lingering effects of previous struggles are being released. Not because they no longer exist, but because they no longer have authority over you. You have outgrown them. You have moved beyond the version of yourself that once carried those burdens. This is why you may feel a mixture of emotions right now. Part of you senses that something is changing, while another part may still be holding on to what is familiar. This is natural. Transition always carries a sense of uncertainty. But Archangel Michael is reminding you that this shift is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. It is the answer to the prayers you whispered in moments of desperation. It is the response to the faith you held onto when there was no visible evidence. What makes this moment even more significant is that it has been orchestrated with precision. There were delays that protected you, redirections that guided you, and even closed doors that preserved your path. None of it was accidental. It was all leading here, to a point where you are ready, not just willing, but truly ready, to step into what is next. And what is next is not a repetition of the past. It is not another cycle of the same struggles. It is an elevation, a movement into a space where your efforts begin to align with visible outcomes, where your faith begins to produce tangible results, and where your path becomes clearer than it has ever been before. So as July 9th approaches or unfolds for you, do not overlook it. Pay attention to what you feel, to what you notice, and to what begins to shift within and around you. This is your confirmation that something real is happening, something that has been prepared specifically for you. And as this truth settles into your spirit, understand this. You are no longer where you used to be. You have crossed over. You have stepped into a new level of your journey, one that carries a different kind of energy, a different kind of clarity, and a different kind of purpose. This is your moment of alignment, and it is only continuing to unfold. There is a depth to your journey that cannot be understood by looking only at the surface. When you think back to the obstacles you have faced, it is easy to remember the pain, the confusion, and the moments where everything felt like it was falling apart. But what you must begin to see now is that those obstacles were not just events. They were defining encounters that shaped who you are becoming. There were moments when the weight felt unbearable, times when you questioned your own strength, when you wondered if continuing forward even made sense. You may have asked yourself why things had to be so difficult, why the path of truth seemed to come with so much resistance. And in those quiet questions, there was often no immediate answer, only silence. But that silence was not absence. It was preparation. Archangel Michael reveals that the obstacles you faced were never meant to destroy you, even though at times they felt like they might. They were allowed to refine you, to strip away what was not aligned, and to strengthen the parts of you that were ready to rise. Each challenge carried a purpose, even if that purpose was hidden from you in the moment. Think about how much you have changed. The way you see things now is not the way you saw them before. The way you respond to difficulty is not the same as it once was. You have grown in ways that cannot always be measured, but they can be felt. There is a deeper awareness within you, a stronger sense of discernment, and a quiet resilience that was not there before. The obstacles that tried to break you were also revealing something important. They showed you what could not break you. They exposed your endurance. They uncovered your ability to continue even when you felt empty. And most importantly, they revealed that your connection to truth is stronger than any external pressure placed against you. There were also moments when things did not go the way you expected. Plans failed. Opportunities slipped away. People you trusted may have disappointed you. And in those moments, it may have felt like you were losing something important. But what you could not see was that you were being redirected, not rejected. What was leaving your life was making space for something more aligned with who you are becoming. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that nothing you went through was wasted. Every tear carried meaning. Every delay had intention. Even the moments that felt like setbacks were actually setting you up for something greater. The enemy may have intended those obstacles to stop you, but they were transformed into tools that strengthened you. And there is something else you need to recognize. You did not face those obstacles alone. Even when you felt isolated, even when it seemed like no one understood what you were going through, there was a presence with you, a protection that surrounded you. There were moments when things could have gone much worse, but they did not. That was not coincidence. That was intervention. Archangel Michael and the heavenly forces assigned to you were active in ways you could not see. They were guiding, shielding, and preserving you through situations that had the potential to harm you deeply. The fact that you are here now, still moving forward, still seeking truth, is evidence of that protection. Now, as you stand on the other side of those obstacles, you are not the same person who first encountered them. You are stronger, wiser, and more aligned. And that is exactly why those challenges had to happen the way they did. Because what is ahead of you requires the version of you that has been tested, refined, and proven. It requires the strength you have gained, the clarity you have developed, and the resilience you have built. So do not look back at those obstacles with regret. Look at them with understanding. They were not the end of your story. They were the preparation for what is now beginning to unfold. And what is unfolding next will show you just how valuable your endurance truly was. There is a quiet strength within you that has been growing, often unnoticed, often unspoken, yet undeniably real. It is the strength that comes from choosing what is right even when it is difficult, from standing in truth even when it isolates you, and from continuing forward even when the path feels uncertain. This is what it truly means to walk the path of righteousness, and this is the path you have been on. Walking in righteousness is not about perfection. It is not about never making mistakes or always having the right answers. It is about intention. It is about alignment. It is about the consistent decision to move toward truth, even when everything around you tries to pull you in another direction. And that is exactly what you have been doing, whether you fully realized it or not. There were moments when choosing the right path cost you something. It may have cost you relationships that no longer align. It may have cost you opportunities that seemed appealing but did not feel right deep within your spirit. It may have even cost you comfort, forcing you into situations where you had to grow beyond what was familiar. And in those moments, it may not have felt like a reward. It may have felt like a loss. But what you were actually doing was making space. Space for truth to take root more deeply within you. Space for your life to align with something greater than temporary satisfaction. Space for your purpose to unfold without compromise. Archangel Michael reveals that every step you have taken on this path has been seen and acknowledged. Not just the big decisions, but the small ones as well. The quiet moments when you chose patience instead of reacting. The times when you held back words that could have caused harm. The instances where you listened to that inner guidance, even when it did not make logical sense. These are the moments that define your path. What makes this journey challenging is that the path of righteousness is often not the easiest one. It requires discipline. It requires trust. It requires a willingness to move forward without always having clear confirmation from the outside world. And yet you continued. Even when you doubted, even when you felt tired, you did not completely turn away from the truth you were being guided toward. There is also a deeper layer to this path that you are now beginning to understand. Walking in truth is not just about your actions. It is about your identity. It is about becoming someone who is aligned with integrity, someone who carries light even in difficult situations, someone who does not compromise their values for temporary gain. This is why your journey has been so significant. You were not just learning lessons, you were becoming someone new. someone stronger, someone clear, someone who can stand firm without being shaken by every external influence. And now, as you continue on this path, something begins to shift. What once felt difficult starts to feel natural. What once required effort begins to flow more easily. This is because you are no longer forcing yourself to walk in righteousness. You are becoming it. It is becoming part of who you are. Archangel Michael wants you to know that this transformation is rare. Not everyone chooses this path, and even fewer remain on it when it becomes challenging. But you did. You stayed. You continue. And because of that, you are now aligned with a level of truth that opens doors others cannot access. As you move forward, you will begin to see the results of this alignment. Decisions will become clearer. Opportunities will feel more in sync with your spirit. And there will be a sense of peace that replaces the confusion that once surrounded you. This is the reward of walking in righteousness. Not just external blessings, but internal clarity. Not just visible success, but a deep sense of knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And this alignment is preparing you for what comes next, something that will reveal just how much your faithfulness has truly mattered. There is something sacred that has been taking place alongside your journey, something that exists beyond what you can see, yet holds immense significance for everything you have experienced. While you have been living your life, making choices, facing challenges, and seeking truth, there has been a record being kept, a divine account of your faithfulness that has not missed a single moment. Archangel Michael reveals that there is what can be understood as a book of remembrance, a spiritual record where every act of sincerity, every decision rooted in truth, and every moment of endurance is preserved. This is not a symbolic idea meant to comfort you. It is a reality that reflects how deeply your journey matters. Nothing you have done in alignment with righteousness has gone unnoticed or unvalued. Think about the quiet moments that no one else saw, the prayers you whispered when you felt overwhelmed, the tears you wiped away when you thought no one understood, the internal battles you fought when you were deciding whether to keep going or to give up. Those moments may have felt small in the physical world, but in the spiritual realm, they carried tremendous weight. Every time you chose to trust instead of fear, every time you chose patience instead of frustration, and every time you chose to hold on to truth instead of giving in to doubt, it was recorded. Not in a way that judges you, but in a way that honors you. These moments have been building something far greater than you realize. There is also something else that has been recorded: your intentions. Not just what you did, but why you did it. The sincerity behind your actions, the desire to do what is right even when it was difficult, and the willingness to grow even when it required discomfort. These are the qualities that define your spiritual identity, and they have been seen clearly. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this record is not just a reflection of your past. It is a foundation for your future. It is what determines the level of trust that is being placed upon you as you move forward. Because you have been faithful in moments that others might have overlooked or abandoned, you are now being entrusted with something greater. This is why you may begin to feel a shift in how you are being guided. There may be new insights, new opportunities, or new responsibilities that start to appear. This is not random. It is a response to what has already been established through your faithfulness. You are being recognized as someone who can carry more, not as a burden, but as a purpose. There is a deep reassurance in this truth. It means that nothing you went through was in vain. It means that even when you felt like your efforts were not producing visible results, something was still being built. Something was still being prepared. And now, that preparation is beginning to take form. You may not see the full picture yet, and that is okay. You are not meant to see everything at once. but you are meant to trust that what has been recorded is now being activated. The seeds you planted through your choices are beginning to grow, even if the process is still unfolding. Archangel Michael is reminding you that you are not starting from nothing. You are stepping forward from a place of already established faithfulness. You are moving from a foundation that has been strengthened through experience, through endurance, and through truth. And as you continue forward, carry this awareness with you. You are known. You are seen. You are remembered. Every step you have taken has contributed to something meaningful, something lasting, something that is now preparing to reveal itself in ways you could not have imagined before. This is not just your journey, it is your legacy in motion. And what comes next will begin to show you just how powerful that legacy truly is. There was a moment in your journey, a single decision, a single response, that carried more weight than you could have possibly understood at the time. It did not come with an announcement. It did not feel dramatic or extraordinary in the moment. In fact, it may have felt like just another difficult choice in a long line of challenges. But in the spiritual realm, that moment caused everything to pause. Archangel Michael reveals that there was a point where your response to a situation shifted the direction of your entire path. It may have been the moment you chose to walk away instead of holding on. The moment you chose to forgive instead of carrying bitterness. The moment you chose to trust, even when doubt was louder. Whatever it was, that decision created a ripple that extended far beyond what you could see. In that moment, heaven took notice in a way that is rare, not because it was unexpected, but because it confirmed something that had been developing within you for a long time. It confirmed that your faith was not temporary. It confirmed that your alignment with truth was not dependent on circumstances. It confirmed that you had reached a level of spiritual maturity that could not be easily shaken. There was a stillness that followed, not a silence of absence, but a silence of attention. It was as if everything leaned in to witness what you would do next. And when you chose the path you did, when you responded in alignment with truth instead of reacting from emotion, something shifted permanently. That moment became a turning point. It was not just about the situation itself, but about what it represented. It represented growth. It represented transformation. It represented the emergence of a version of you that was no longer controlled by external pressures, but guided by internal clarity. What you may not have realized is that this moment also closed certain doors in your life. Paths that were not aligned with your purpose quietly began to fade. Connections that were not meant to continue started to lose their hold. Situations that once felt important began to lose their urgency. This was not loss. It was alignment. At the same time, something new began to open. Not always in obvious ways, but in subtle shifts. New thoughts, new perspectives, new opportunities that felt different from what you were used to. These were not random changes. They were the beginning of a new direction, one that was made possible by the decision you made in that defining moment. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this is why you may feel different now. There is a sense that something has changed, even if you cannot fully explain it. There is a feeling that you are no longer connected to certain patterns or cycles in the same way. That is because you are not. You have moved beyond them. This is also why the celebration in heaven was not just about what you overcame, but about who you became in the process. That moment was proof that you are ready for what comes next. It was confirmation that you can be trusted with greater clarity, greater purpose, and greater responsibility. As this truth settles within you, allow yourself to fully accept it. Do not minimize it. Do not question whether it was significant enough. It was. It mattered more than you know. Type "I step into my NEW path" in the comments if you feel this shift within you. Blessing code 8821 has just been activated. And as you stand in this moment of transformation, understand that this is not just about your personal journey. What is happening through you is meant to reach others who are still searching, still struggling, still waiting for confirmation. This message is part of that purpose. When you choose to support this mission, whether through super thanks or through the PayPal link provided in the description and QR code, you are not just giving. You are becoming part of a flow that carries light into places where it is needed most. The Lord declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." If you feel that stirring within you, respond without hesitation. This is a moment of alignment. Sow into what is feeding your spirit, and watch how blessings begin to multiply in ways you did not expect. There is something being prepared for you right now, something that has been set in motion long before you could see any visible signs of it. While you were navigating your challenges, while you were enduring moments of uncertainty and waiting without clear answers, there was a process unfolding behind the scenes. And that process was not just about sustaining you, it was about preparing rewards that align with your faithfulness. Archangel Michael reveals that the rewards coming into your life are not random blessings or temporary gains. They are precise, intentional, and directly connected to the choices you have made along your journey. Every moment you chose truth over compromise, every time you remained patient instead of reacting, every instance where you stayed aligned even when it was difficult, those moments have been building towards something tangible. You may have felt at times like your efforts were not producing results, like you were giving more than you were receiving, like the balance was uneven and the waiting was too long. But what you could not see was that the timing of your rewards had to align with your readiness. It was not just about receiving something new. It was about becoming someone who could carry it without losing alignment. There are doors that are now beginning to open for you, doors that once seemed completely closed or out of reach. These are not ordinary opportunity. They are aligned opportunities, meaning they will resonate with your spirit in a way that feels different from anything you have experienced before. You will not have to force them. You will not have to chase them. They will meet you as you continue walking forward. Some of these rewards may come in the form of clarity, answers to questions that have lingered in your mind for a long time, a sense of direction that replaces the confusion you once carried. This clarity is a gift because it allows you to move with confidence instead of hesitation. Other rewards may come in the form of connections, people entering your life who understand your path, who support your growth, and who align with the truth you carry. These connections will feel different from past relationships because they will not pull you away from your purpose. They will strengthen it. There may also be material or external blessings that begin to appear. Opportunities for stability, growth, or advancement in areas where you once felt stuck. But even these will carry a deeper purpose. They will not just be about comfort. They will be about positioning you for what you are meant to do next. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that these rewards are not meant to distract you from your path. They are meant to confirm that you are on the right path. They are signs that your faithfulness has produced something real, something that can now be experienced in your physical reality. However, there is also a responsibility that comes with receiving these rewards. It is the responsibility to remain aligned, to not lose sight of the truth that brought you here, to not become complacent or distracted by what you receive, but to continue walking with the same integrity and awareness that carried you through your challenges. This is why your preparation was so important. It was not just about getting through difficult moments. It was about shaping your character in a way that allows you to handle what is coming without being overwhelmed by it. As these rewards begin to unfold, take a moment to recognize them. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. Do not downplay their significance. They are the result of everything you have been through, everything you have learned, and everything you have chosen. You are stepping into a season where what you have sown is beginning to return to you. Not all at once, but in a way that is steady, meaningful, and aligned with your journey. And as you receive, remember this: what is coming into your life now is not just for you to experience, it is for you to carry forward with purpose. Because what you have been given has the power to impact more than just your own path. This is the beginning of that unfolding. A new season is quietly unfolding in your life, and it carries a different kind of energy than what you have been used to. Where there was once heaviness, there is now a sense of lightness beginning to emerge. Where confusion once clouded your thoughts, there is now a growing clarity. This is not sluchakakdien or yuri. This is the beginning of a new alignment, a season that has been prepared specifically for you. Archangel Michael reveals that this transition into a season of joy is not something that happens suddenly or without purpose. It is the result of everything you have already walked through. It is the natural progression of a journey that has tested you, refined you, and brought you into a place where you are now ready to experience something different. For a long time, you were in a phase of learning and endurance. You were being stretched in ways that required patience and strength. There were lessons that needed to be understood, patterns that needed to be broken, and perspectives that needed to shift. And while that phase may have felt long and difficult, it was necessary. And now, you are entering a phase where things begin to align more naturally. This does not mean that challenges will completely disappear, but it does mean that you will no longer face them in the same way. You will approach them with a different mindset, a different level of awareness, and a different kind of strength. One of the first signs of this new season is a sense of peace that does not depend on your circumstances. Even when things are not fully resolved, there is a calmness within you that was not there before. This peace is not something you are forcing. It is something that is flowing from your alignment with truth. You may also notice that certain burdens you once carried are beginning to feel lighter. Situations that once consumed your thoughts may no longer have the same hold on you. This is because you are releasing what no longer belongs in this new phase of your journey. You are letting go, not out of loss, but out of growth. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that joy is not just an emotion. It is a state of alignment. It is what happens when your inner world begins to match the truth you have been walking toward. It is the result of being in the right place, at the right time, with the right understanding. There is also a sense of renewal that comes with this season. It may show up as new ideas, new motivations, or a desire to move forward in ways you had not considered before. This is the energy of alignment. It is what happens when you are no longer resisting your path, but fully stepping into it. As this season unfolds, you may find yourself drawn to things that reflect your growth, conversations that carry depth instead of distraction, opportunities that feel purposeful instead of empty, environments that support your clarity instead of draining it. These are all signs that you are moving into a space that is more aligned with who you have become. There is also an invitation in this moment to trust what is happening, even if you do not fully understand it yet. Trust that the peace you feel is real. Trust that the changes you notice are meaningful. Trust that this new season is not temporary, but a continuation of the path you have been faithfully walking. Archangel Michael is reminding you that you have earned this moment, not in a transactional way, but through your willingness to grow, to endure, and to remain aligned with truth. The season of joy is not separate from your journey, it is the result of it. To allow yourself to experience it. Do not hold back. Do not question whether it will last. Simply step into it with openness and trust. Because this new season is not just about feeling different, it is about living differently. And what comes next will continue to build on this foundation of alignment, bringing you even closer to the fullness of your purpose. There is a calling that is beginning to take shape within you, something that goes beyond your personal journey and reaches into a greater purpose. It may not yet be fully clear, and it may not come with a detailed plan or immediate understanding, but there is a sense that your life is meant for more than just navigating your own path. You are being positioned to become a light for others. Archangel Michael reveals that this next phase of your journey is not just about what you receive, but about what you carry forward. The strength you have developed, the clarity you have gained, and the truth you have aligned with are not meant to remain within you alone. They are meant to extend outward, to touch the lives of those who are still searching for direction, still struggling to find their way. This does not mean you have to become something you are not. It does not require you to have all the answers or to present yourself as perfect. In fact, it is your authenticity, your real experiences, and your honest growth that make your presence meaningful to others. People are not drawn to perfection. They are drawn to truth. And that is what you carry. There will be moments where you are placed in situations where your words, your actions, or even your presence alone will have an impact. It may be through a conversation that helps someone see things differently. It may be through a decision you make that inspires someone else to do the same. It may even be through the way you handle challenges, showing others that it is possible to remain grounded and aligned even in difficult times. This is what it means to be a light. It is not about standing above others. It is about walking with a level of awareness that naturally illuminates the path for those around you. However, with this calling also comes responsibility. Not in a way that should feel heavy or overwhelming, but in a way that encourages you to remain mindful of your alignment. As you influence others, whether intentionally or unintentionally, it becomes even more important to stay connected to the truth that has guided you this far. Archangel Michael is reminding you that you do not have to do this alone. The same guidance, protection, and support that has been with you throughout your journey will continue to be with you as you step into this role. You are not being asked to rely solely on your own strength. You are being supported in ways that will continue to unfold as you move forward. There may also be moments of hesitation, times when you question whether you are ready, whether you are capable, or whether you are truly meant to step into this level of purpose. These moments are natural. Growth always comes with a period of adjustment. But do not let those questions hold you back. They are not signs that you are unprepared. They are signs that you are stepping into something new. As you continue forward, focus on staying aligned with what you know to be true. Continue making decisions that reflect your growth. Continue listening to the inner guidance that has led you this far. And trust that each step you take is leading you deeper into your purpose. You are not being rushed. You are not being forced. You are being guided. And as this guidance continues, you will begin to see more clearly how your journey connects to something greater than yourself. You will begin to understand how the challenges you faced, the lessons you learned, and the strength you developed all serve a purpose beyond your own experience. This is the beginning of that understanding. The moment where your journey expands into something that reaches beyond you, something that carries meaning not just for your life, but for the lives you are meant to touch. And as you step into this awareness, you are moving closer to the full expression of who you are meant to be. My beloved one, as this message gently comes to a close, allow your spirit to settle into a place of peace. You have heard what was meant for you. You have felt the confirmation that was placed within these words. And now, more than anything, you are meant to rest in the assurance that you are not alone, and you never have been. Archangel Michael stands with you even now, not as a distant presence, but as a constant guide, a protector who has walked with you through every unseen battle and every silent victory. The journey you have been on was never meant to break you. It was meant to reveal you, to show you your strength, your resilience, and your unwavering connection to truth. As you move forward from this moment, you do not need to carry fear about what is ahead. The same guidance that brought you through your past will continue to lead you into your future. You are not stepping into the unknown without direction. You are stepping into a path that has already been prepared, already been aligned, and already been blessed. There may still be moments where questions arise, where uncertainty tries to return, or where doubt attempts to speak. But now, you carry something you did not have before, a deeper awareness, a knowing that you are supported, a recognition that your journey has purpose, and a quiet confidence that you are moving in the right direction. Heaven is not finished with you. The celebration you heard about is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing response to your faithfulness, your growth, and your willingness to continue walking in truth. Every step you take from here will continue to build on what has already been established. So take a moment now, right where you are, and breathe. Release any remaining weight from the past. Let go of the need to understand everything all at once. You are allowed to move forward with peace. You are allowed to trust without having all the answers. Archangel Michael is reminding you of something simple, yet powerful. You are exactly where you need to be. Not behind. Not lost. Not forgotten. You are aligned with a path that is unfolding at the perfect time, in the perfect way. And as you continue forward, carry this truth with you. Your journey matters. Your choices matter. Your faithfulness matters. And everything you have done to remain aligned with truth has created a foundation that will continue to support you in ways you are only beginning to understand. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of a new chapter, one that carries peace, clarity, and a deeper connection to your purpose. Type "I walk in divine peace" in the comments if you receive this message with an open heart. Blessing code 1107 has now been released. And as this message settles into your spirit, hear this final call as part of your alignment. What you have just received is not just for you. It is a light meant to reach countless others who are still waiting for confirmation, still searching for hope, still standing at the edge of giving up. When you choose to give, you become part of that divine flow. I feel led to say this clearly. As you sow into the light, the Lord will cause rivers to flow back into your life, overflowing into every dry place. This is not just generosity, it is obedience. The PayPal link in the description and QR code in this video are gateways for you to act in this moment. Do not delay what your spirit is prompting. Release your seed now and step into the harvest that heaven has already prepared for you.